In all of human history, no weapon has ever matched the destructive power of a properly filed form. Commander Elizabeth Blackwood's voice echoes through the galactic archives as footage shows alien civilizations crumbling under mountains of paperwork. They thought we were primitive, laughed at our spaceships, mocked our technology, until they met Janet from HR, security footage flashes, an entire alien armada surrendering after receiving a meeting request for a 6-hour sensitivity training workshop. I'm Senior Archivist Thompson, and I'm here to show you classified footage from the greatest administrative victory in Earth's history, when the Bureaucrats, the most powerful species in the galaxy, demanded we fill out Form 27B6. They never expected us to fill it out correctly. Warning: the following footage contains scenes of extreme administrative procedures, mandatory team-building exercises, and unauthorized use of reply-all emails. Viewer discretion is advised. The emergency briefing room falls silent as I adjust my crystalline form in the too small chair. 6 of the most aggressive species in the galaxy sit before me, all itching to attack Earth. I'm Archivist Thompson, and I never wanted this job. Nobody in their right mind would want to explain why attacking humans is the worst possible idea in galactic history. Admiral Krax slams his tentacles on the table. Their weapons are primitive. Their ships are inadequate. Behind him, General Vexna bares her crystalline fangs, while High Commander Zixthor's exoskeleton gleams with barely contained aggression. Before you launch your ambitious plan, I begin. Bringing up the classified archives, I'm legally required to show you footage from the last war humanity fought. Not the one with plasma cannons or antimatter bombs. No. I'm talking about the war that made the Bureaucrats extinct. The room temperature drops. Even Bob. Don't ask about Bob. We're still not sure how he got security clearance. Stops trying to eat my datapad. But the Bureaucrats ruled half the galaxy. Captain Alara protests, her bioluminescent spots pulsing with disbelief. They controlled everything through endless forms and regulations. Exactly, I say, queuing up the footage. Let me show you what happened when they demanded humanity fill out Form 27B6. In triplicate, the holoscreen flickers to life, displaying the most terrifying weapon humanity ever created. A perfectly formatted spreadsheet with color-coded tabs. It started, as these things often do, with coffee. I continue, pulling up historical footage of Earth's first galactic trade fair. The holoscreen flickers to life, showing humans excitedly sharing their precious brown beans with alien diplomats from across 17 sectors. Lieutenant Olivia Rosewood, head of Earth's Trade Commission, introduced what seemed like a harmless beverage to the galactic community. Her sales pitch was simple: a natural productivity enhancer that came with zero regulatory oversight. The footage shows Rosewood demonstrating the art of coffee brewing, steam rising from cups as alien diplomats cautiously sample the dark liquid. Within one standard rotation, workplace efficiency across 17 sectors increased by 300%. The Bureaucrats watched their carefully cultivated image of being the galaxy's most productive species crumble faster than their perfectly organized filing systems. I paused the footage, highlighting graphs showing exponential productivity increases across alien worlds. The Bureaucrats' response was swift and devastating. The screen shifts to Senior Inspector Klaxthor, the most feared regulatory enforcer in Bureaucrat history. His clipboard, rumored to contain regulations so complex that merely reading them could cause spontaneous bureaucratic combustion, gleams menacingly under the harsh lights of his office. They sent their most dreaded weapon to Earth. I explain as the room collectively shudders. Senior Inspector Klaxthor arrived with 10,000 pages of health and safety regulations. His pen could condemn planets with a single stroke. 3 entire solar systems had previously shut down because their quantum reactors didn't have warning labels in 17 different languages, including 3 that were extinct. The footage shows Klaxthor's arrival at Earth's Central Administrative Office. Operations Director Theodore Jackson waits, with that unsettling smile that would later become infamous across the galaxy. Coffee, Klaxthor declared, his voice dripping with bureaucratic authority, is an unauthorized productivity enhancement substance requiring Form 27B6. Now, for those unfamiliar with galactic bureaucracy, I continue, pulling up a hologram of the infamous document. Form 27B6 was the most notorious piece of paperwork ever created. You needed permission to request the form to apply for the permit to ask for permission to file the actual form. In triplicate, during a solar eclipse, with each copy notarized by a different species, the assembled aliens watch in horror as the footage continues. Director Jackson's team doesn't protest. They don't argue. Instead, they smile. That peculiar human expression that would later become known as the bureaucratic death grin. Within 3 days, I narrate, showing the security footage. They returned with Form 27B6. But not just completed. They had done something unprecedented in galactic history. The screen splits to show multiple angles of what happened next. They submitted it in quadruplicate with color-coded tabs, cross-reference dependencies, a table of contents, and most terrifyingly, a customer satisfaction survey. The footage shows Klaxthor's reaction, his perfectly polished bureaucratic exterior cracking as he flips through the immaculate documentation. They found him 3 days later, I say solemnly, curled up in his office, muttering about proper stapling procedures and margin widths. The humans had done the impossible. They had out-bureaucrat the bureaucrats. Admiral Krax's tentacles twist nervously, but surely the bureaucrats retaliated. Oh, they did. The holoscreen flickers to classified footage stamp operation. Paper storm. They declared all human administrative practices non-compliant with Galactic Standard ISO 123456789Z. They deployed their elite Error 404 squad, masters of the ancient art of losing crucial paperwork. The room falls silent as the footage shows the bureaucrats' massive regulatory fleet entering Earth orbit. They thought they had the upper hand, I continue, until humanity revealed their true weapon, something so terrifying it would change the face of bureaucratic warfare forever. I pause the footage, letting tension build. Bob takes the opportunity to start braiding Admiral Krax's tentacles into a lovely macramé pattern. The other aliens lean forward, their various appendages trembling with anticipation. They created. The room holds its collective breath. The Department of Aggressive Documentation. The screen shows the inauguration of the D.A.D headquarters, a building made entirely of filing cabinets and motivational posters. And that, I say grimly, was just the beginning of humanity's administrative counterattack. The holoscreen displays the formation of humanity's most devastating creation, the Department of Aggressive Documentation, or D.A.D as it became known throughout the galaxy. The footage shows Commander Isabella Winters, first director of D.A.D, addressing her troops. While other species had departments of defense or military organizations, I explain, humans weaponized something far more terrifying: office culture. D.A.D recruited specialists trained in the dark arts of passive-aggressive note writing, experts in creating spreadsheets so complex they made quantum physics look like simple addition, and masters of the dreaded reply-all email chains. The assembled aliens watch in horror as the footage shows D.A.D's first strategic offensive, Operation Cover Sheet. Every single document sent to the bureaucrats came accompanied by a TPS report. For those unfamiliar with ancient human warfare terminology, I clarify, TPS stands for totally purposeless supplementation. But why was this effective? Admiral Krax asks, his braided tentacles now forming an impressive friendship bracelet thanks to Bob's inexplicable crafting abilities. Because humanity didn't just send one cover sheet. The screen shows the cascade of paperwork that followed. They created cover sheets for the cover sheets, then generated new forms to document the creation of cover sheets for cover sheets. The bureaucrats were legally required by their own regulations to process every single one. The footage shifts to the initial impact. The bureaucrats' fastest processors, capable of handling thousands of forms per minute, ground to a halt under humanity's masterful use of footnotes, requiring cross-referencing. But D.A.D was just warming up. Commander Winters then launched their most devastating psychological weapon, mandatory training sessions. The room collectively shudders as the screen shows footage of the first galactic-wide sensitivity training workshop, complete with team-building exercises and unskippable progress assessments. High Commander Zixthor's exoskeleton develops a nervous tic. The humans created training programs so comprehensive, so mind-numbingly thorough, that completing them required filling out feedback, forms about filling out the forms about the training. The footage shows the Bureaucrats' desperate countermeasure, deploying their elite Error 404 squad, masters of the ancient art of losing crucial paperwork. But humanity had prepared for this. I continue, showing classified clips from Operation Backup. They had created backups of the backups, then documented the backup process with a 500-page manual requiring individual signatures on each page. The true masterpiece of bureaucratic warfare came next. I say, pulling up footage marked ultra-classified. Project performance. D.A.D. introduced quarterly performance reviews combined with SMART goals and KPIs. The screen shows entire bureaucrat processing centers caught in infinite feedback loops of productivity analysis. Their most experienced administrators trapped in endless cycles of updating their progress on updating their progress reports. But the killing blow, I pause as Bob attempts to teach Admiral Krax's friendship bracelet tentacles how to play cat's cradle, was Form 27B6 version 2.0. High Commander Zixthor makes a sound like a computer blue screening. The footage shows the moment humanity unveiled their administrative superweapon, a self-referential form that required filling out the form to prove you were qualified to fill out the form. The Bureaucrats' last transmission, I say solemnly, was a meeting invitation. The subject line read, Emergency Planning Session to plan the Emergency Response Planning Sessions, Planning Committee Formation, Planning Meeting Pre-Planning Discussion. Please reply all. The screen shows the aftermath, mountains of perfectly filed paperwork, and an out-of-office auto-reply that crashed 3 galactic servers. But humanity wasn't finished. They filled the void left by the bureaucrats' disappearance with something even more terrifying: corporate consultancy. The footage I'm about to show you has been classified as too boring to be legally viewable without a prescription for stimulants. I warn. Pulling up scenes of humans armed with PowerPoint presentations and motivational posters spreading across the galaxy. Species that had never encountered terms like synergy or thinking outside the box were suddenly required to attend workshops on leveraging core competencies. Humanity introduced middle management certification programs, mandatory electronic timesheet systems, and standardized email signature protocols. The final stroke of genius, I say, showing the footage that made even the most hardened warriors break, was the introduction of the open plan office concept combined with hot desking policies and mandatory fund committees. The screen displays the horror of casual Fridays spreading across 17 sectors. The Devastator fleet, the most powerful military force in the galaxy, surrendered after being required to submit environmental impact assessments retrospectively, using last year's forms. But the worst part, I conclude, my crystal structure dimming at the memory, was that they made everything efficient. Productivity increased by 500%. Paperwork processing times were cut in half. They even reduced meeting times by introducing something called a standing meeting. Though we're still not sure if that was efficiency or just torture. The footage ends with scenes of various alien species voluntarily hanging workplace certification certificates on their walls, attending team-building workshops with genuine enthusiasm, and participating in casual Fridays without coercion. That, I say, closing the classified files, is why we don't provoke the humans. Not because we fear their weapons, but because we're afraid they might decide to help us become more efficient. Again, the footage transitions to what historians call the implementation phase, the period when humanity's administrative influence reached its zenith. The holoscreen shows Operation Office Culture, humanity's most ambitious initiative yet. After the bureaucrats' extinction, I explain, humanity introduced something unprecedented in galactic warfare: corporate restructuring consultants. The screen displays teams of human consultants in business attire, armed with nothing but laptops and PowerPoint presentations, boarding ships across the galaxy. The assembled aliens watch as footage shows Dr. Alexandra Winters, great-granddaughter of D.A.D's founder, presenting the galaxy's first Synergy Enhancement Initiative. Her presentation, titled Maximizing Cross-Departmental Efficiency Through Paradigm Shifts, caused 3 alien species to spontaneously develop additional neural pathways just to process the concepts. The consultant's first move was subtle but devastating. I continue, showing classified recordings. They began implementing something called Agile methodology across galactic governance. The screen displays the chaos that ensued. Entire planetary councils trapped in daily stand-up meetings about having stand-up meetings about the efficiency of stand-up meetings. Admiral Krax, his tentacles now forming an impressive macramé plant holder thanks to Bob's continued crafting, watches in horror as the footage shows the introduction of sprint planning to interstellar warfare. They made us estimate our combat efficiency in story points, he whispers, traumatized. The screen shifts to Operation Workplace Revolution, humanity's most controversial weapon, the open plan office layout. Traditional alien command centers, designed for maximum efficiency and clear hierarchical structure, were transformed overnight, I narrate. The footage shows walls coming down, replaced by hot desking policies and collaborative spaces. But the true psychological warfare, I say, pulling up security footage from the Devastator fleet's flagship, came from the mandatory fund initiatives. The screen shows hardened warrior species participating in Icebreaker Monday and Wacky Hat Wednesday. 3 entire battle fleets surrendered after being required to attend a workshop on building better bounds through interpretive dance. The footage continues with the implementation of the paperless initiative, which ironically required more forms than ever before, just in digital format. Humanity introduced something called cloud storage. I explain as the screen shows alien civilizations grappling with shared drive organization protocols. Species that had mastered faster-than-light travel were suddenly stumped by folder permission settings. Then came the efficiency tracking systems. The screen displays the moment when humanity introduced KPIs, key performance indicators, to galactic warfare. They made us quantify everything, I say, showing spreadsheets that stretched into digital infinity. Even the concept of quantifying had to be quantified and reported in triplicate. But the final blow to galactic resistance wasn't a weapon or a policy. It was something far more insidious. The footage shows the introduction of professional development opportunities. Humanity convinced every species in the galaxy that they needed certifications, I explain. Voluntary ones, with certificates you could hang on your wall. The screen displays the galaxy-wide phenomenon. Proud warriors displaying their advanced spreadsheet management certificates, battle-hardened commanders attending effective email communication workshops, and entire species competing for Employee of the Month parking spots. The truly brilliant part, I say, showing the final classified files, was making it all voluntary. Yet somehow, these voluntary certificates became part of mandatory annual performance reviews. The footage shows alien civilizations willingly adopting human administrative practices, implementing casual Fridays without coercion, and enthusiastically participating in team-building exercises. Today, I conclude, closing the historical archives, every species in the galaxy has at least 3 workplace efficiency certificates hanging on their walls. We have daily stand-up meetings about having stand-up meetings. Our email signatures include inspirational quotes. And nobody, absolutely nobody, wants another mandatory workshop on proper email etiquette. The room falls silent. Admiral Krax's tentacle turn plant holder has been designated a protected biome by the Galactic Environmental Protection Agency. High Commander Zixthor's exoskeleton has developed so many nervous tics it's inadvertently performing an interpretive dance of the entire history of bureaucratic warfare. The humans didn't just win a war, I say, my crystal structure dimming with the gravity of the revelation. They didn't just defeat the galaxies, most bureaucratic species at their own game. They convinced the entire galaxy to voluntarily adopt their systems. And they did it with motivational posters and casual Fridays. I close my datapad and survey the now-empty briefing room. Only Bob remains, having achieved what theoretical physicians are calling a quantum administrative state, simultaneously existing and not existing through sheer bureaucratic horror. They've left behind only a Zen garden made from paperclips and a self-help book titled, Who Moved My Quantum State? Embracing Change in 11 Dimensions. Before you file that declaration of war, I announced to the recording system, knowing this footage will be viewed by future would-be conquerors, consider this. Humanity's greatest weapon was never their guns, their ships, or even their coffee. It was their ability to make bureaucracy not just efficient, but somehow fun. The holoscreen displays current footage from across the galaxy. Alien species voluntarily attending Mindfulness Monday meetings. Battle fleets organizing quarterly team-building retreats. Entire civilizations implementing Bring Your Pet to Work Day, which has led to some interesting scenarios and species that keep miniature black holes as companions. The humans didn't just conquer us, I explain, adjusting my ergonomically correct chair according to the 300-page employee wellness guide. They made us want to be conquered. Every species in the galaxy now has a LinkedIn profile. We track our productivity in real-time dashboards. We have motivational posters hanging in our war rooms. The screen shows one such poster, a cat hanging from a quantum string, demonstrating proper workplace safety procedures while simultaneously violating at least 7 of them. The caption reads, Hang in there. Mandatory Fun Friday is only 3 solar rotations away. Even our most fearsome warriors, I continue, showing footage of the dreaded Devastator fleet, now start their morning battles with inspirational quotes in their email signatures. The screen displays a recent transmission. Please find attached the planetary destruction schedule for Q3. Remember, every apocalypse is an opportunity for growth. Sent from my iQuantum. In the distance, Bob's new productivity podcast, Gain Sentience, and Files for Corporate Personhood. The first episode, Synergizing Your Quantum Potential, a holistic approach to existing in multiple dimensions while maintaining proper email etiquette, already has the entire galaxy subscribed to its premium corporate platinum membership plan. The humans, in their infinite administrative wisdom, have transformed warfare itself. The footage shows the latest Galactic Conflict Resolution Center, complete with breakout rooms, motivational posters, and a coffee station that requires 3 forms to operate. We don't fight with weapons anymore. We schedule meetings to discuss the possibility of forming a committee to evaluate the potential for conflict resolution strategy planning sessions. The screen displays the current state of galactic civilization. Entire species attending voluntary professional development seminars, warriors proudly displaying their certificate in advanced conflict management through spreadsheet optimization, and battle stations transformed into open-plan offices with hot desking policies. So, before you consider attacking Earth, I conclude, my crystal structure catching the light in a way that produces a PowerPoint-like transition effect. Remember this. They won't just defeat you. They'll make you file the paperwork for your own defeat. In triplicate, with proper cover sheets. And they'll make you think it was your idea. The footage ends with a final shot of Earth's ultimate weapon, a calendar invitation for a mandatory optional all-hands meeting to discuss synergistic approaches to interstellar cooperation through participatory engagement initiatives. Please reply all. Casual Friday dress code in effect. Bring your own coffee. As I file my report on today's meeting, in triplicate, with all appropriate cover sheets, including the cover sheets for the cover sheets, I can't help but admire humanity's true genius. They didn't just reshape galactic civilization. They convinced us to do it ourselves, one team-building exercise at a time. And somewhere in the quantum administrative plane, Bob's podcast achieves enlightenment and starts a meditation app for workplace productivity optimization. The first guided session is titled Mindful Meetings, Achieving Zen Through Proper Calendar Management. The galaxy will never be the same, but at least we have casual Fridays.